I know this is going to sound insane, but when he took off his collar and held my trembling hand, I forgot he was a priest. I forgot we were standing inside the church. All I remember is realizing that, for one brief moment, love could also be a sin. When my mom passed away, I started going to church every single day. Not out of faith, out of despair. Sitting in the back pew, crying quietly, was the only time I could breathe. Father Mark always noticed me. Sometimes he'd wait until the end of Mass to ask if I was okay. At first, I just nodded. Then I started answering, and somehow I never stopped talking. He listened about my mom, my fears, my loneliness. He never judged me, only said that God still had plans for me. I believed him, until one day he looked at me differently. And in that look, for the first time, I didn't see a priest. I saw a man. I started spending more time at the parish house, helping organize food drives, flowers, anything that made me feel useful. But deep down, I just wanted to be near him. Our conversations grew longer. The pauses between words became heavier. One day, a storm trapped me there. The lights went out, and we were left in silence. He reached for my hand. His fingers were shaking. So were mine. Neither of us spoke, but something unspoken passed between us, something that couldn't be taken back. That night, the man who preached about God's love taught me what forbidden love truly feels like. The next Sunday, I couldn't look at him during Mass. Every word about purity cut through me like glass. Yet I still went back to his house the next day. He tried to pull away. He cried, said what we did was wrong, that it could destroy his calling. But when I pressed my forehead against his, the sermon ended. For months, we lived in secret between confessions and prayers. I saw guilt in his eyes, but also desire. Every time he asked God for forgiveness, all I wanted was to sin again. I knew I was breaking something sacred, but I'd never felt more alive. Everything fell apart when a woman from the parish grew suspicious. She said she'd seen us together outside church. He begged me not to come anymore, said it would ruin him. I agreed, but the nights became unbearable. I went to church just to hear his voice from afar. One day, I walked into the confessional. He realized it was me before I even spoke. "I've sinned, Father," I whispered. And he answered, "So have I, my child." At that moment, I knew neither of us would ever walk out of that booth clean. After that, he asked to be transferred. The parish announced that Father Mark would serve in another town. On his last day, he called me into the sacristy. He said he loved me, but that he had to choose between me and the altar. I cried, begged him to stay. He just said, "If I stay, I'll lose you before God forever." Then he left. I watched the man I loved put his collar back on, and I finally understood what it means to love someone you can't have. Since that day, I haven't been able to walk into a church without feeling guilty. Years have passed, and I still pray for him. Not for him to come back, but for him to be at peace. Sometimes I dream of his hands holding mine. And I wake up crying, as if it all happened yesterday. I kept the collar he left behind. I never washed it. His scent is still there, like God wanted me to remember that love can also be punishment. I don't know if I was the mistake of his life or if he was the miracle of mine. All I know is that since then, I've never loved without guilt. And maybe that's why I'm writing this here. Hoping someone will tell me I wasn't the only one who got lost trying to love. If you've lived a love that felt impossible, or if you carry a story that still hurts to remember, I want you to know that you're not alone. You can share your story with me. It will be read with care, respect, and complete anonymity. The link to the anonymous form is pinned in the comments below. Maybe your confession will be the next one told here. Because sometimes, telling your story is the first step to healing.